Washington, D.C. Michael Conforto knew immediately what happened, as Terry Collins and head trainer Ray Ramirez walked out to him, lying on the ground after crumbling to the ground in pain Thursday afternoon. The outfielder told them he had dislocated the shoulder. And even before they could get him off the field and into the trainer's room, Conforto did the painful job of putting his shoulder in position to get moved to the hospital. Minutes after his devastating, season-ending injury, the 24-year-old was picking himself up and dealing with it Heden. Friday night, before the Mets took on the Nationals. However, it was clear it would be harder for the Mets to move forward after the latest in a long list of injuries that have derailed their season. After 126 games, the season and the constant setbacks is not only wearing down the roster, but also those who remain. It's just a pile-on basically, Collins said. It's certainly devastating blow to the club, but we have had several. Well, put someone else's name in the lineup and move forward. Certainly is a tough one, because he was having such a great year. I just hope whatever he is going to do, and whatever they are going to do to get to him better works and this kid continues to be a great player. Conforto was diagnosed late Thursday night with not only a dislocated shoulder, but a tear in the posterior capsule. He is waiting to be clinically examined Monday, the team announced Friday. He will supposedly be deliberating treatment of the shoulder. Sandy Alderson was on the trip, but the Mets GM declined to talk to reporters about it until the Mets had further information. But there really seems to be limited options for an athlete who suffered such an injury. According to Dr. Arman Tehrani, orthopedic surgeon, shoulder-knee specialist, and founder of Manhattan Orthopedic Care, this is a less common injury and one that could be a little more difficult to come back from. A tear in the posterior capsule could be treated conservatively, or non-operatively. Scar in and do very well, Tehrani said. In the case of Conforto and in the manner he tore though, it is unlikely to do very well without surgery. And the surgery is not an easy one, which would include an expected recovery and rehabilitation time of 4 to 6 months. That means there would be a chance that Conforto would not be ready for spring training. The surgery depends on the extent of the tear and the quality of the tissue remaining. The recovery and rehabilitation is a tedious process that involves immobilization, then slowly stretching the capsule after it heals and then strengthening the shoulder. Jim McIsaac, Getty Images. It's about 4 to 6 months before an athlete is back to playing professionally, Tehrani said. A shoulder that has been previously dislocated and without surgery is more likely to suffer another dislocation, Dr. Tehrani confirmed. Conforto is believed to have dislocated the shoulder before, but there was nothing that could have been done to prevent it. It's a combination of genetics and bad luck, Tehrani said. There is some long-term good news. After surgery, Conforto will no longer have an elevated risk of dislocating his shoulder. Tehrani said that with a successful surgery and proper rehab and recovery, there should be nothing preventing Conforto from returning to his previous level of success. Thursday, when he went down, Conforto was hitting .279 with a career-high 27 home runs and 68 RBI when he left. The numbers don't give the full picture of what Conforto accomplished this season. After a disappointing sophomore season in 2016 and an overcrowded outfield, he came into spring training without a guaranteed spot on the 25-man roster. Facing another demotion to minors, the 24-year-old committed to trimming down and reworking his swing. The guy made the All-Star team. He certainly was on his way to 30 homers, Collins said. For a guy who was in the leadoff spot, I think his numbers were remarkable. For a guy who didn't start season in lineup, he established himself as one of the real good players in league. I hope he comes out of this and resumes his pursuit to become one of the best players in baseball.